Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about Boruto chapter 43, and I know that I haven't recorded and uploaded a video of my recording in a very long time. I haven't done a review in a very long time, and I'm happy to say that from now on, I think I will be doing constant reviews around the anime content that I love, which is in the Boruto, uh, maybe One Piece, Black Clover, and now in this, let's get back to the review because I think I can talk about so many animes. But what I'm trying to say is that I haven't uploaded in a long time, I haven't recorded in a long time, I haven't had the time. But right now, I think I'm gonna try and create an hour or two, 3 hours, and do some recordings. But having said that, I just want to move on to the actual analysis itself. The analysis of Boruto chapter 43, I think I'm not gonna talk about the entire chapter as a whole, but I'm gonna talk about three things which I think stood out in this chapter. And the first thing being the Chidori that we've seen Sarada used, and the second one would be the new Otsutsuki form in the form of Momoshiki Otsutsuki, and that is exciting to see, and it's buzzing over the internet. And the third thing that I want to talk about in this review is the meeting between Kashin Koji slash Jiraiya and Jigen. And I think also that's an exciting ending for the chapter as well. So let's start with with the Chidori. We can see the Chidori being delivered, or the Chidori slashing Boro and destroying his vital point, which I would like to call it his engine of the body, because without that vital point of his body, or the vital organ of his body, uh, he's unable to function well. So that was destroyed by the Chidori, the fast Chidori. uh, Even he couldn't even dodge that Chidori. And and with we've got a refreshing comment which came from Mitsu, um, about how one has to use the Chidori. And it's being said that for one to be able to use the Chidori, they need to be in possession of the Sharingan, which would grant them that ocular vision, and the precision would then have to come from that. So for one to accurately use the Chidori, and hence Sarada with the three Tomoe Sharingan was able to use that Chidori. So now, if as the fight continues between Boru and Team 7, as we've seen from the previous chapters coming into this chapter, Boru was sliced with the Chidori, and his vital organ was destroyed, and he's out of control right now. He doesn't have the kind of control, and the whole team decide to leave him alone because their main focus is to rescue Hokage Naruto and to unseal him from the port that is presently there in that chapter. And the other thing that I wanted to mainly talk about, which is the second thing that I wanted to talk about in this chapter, is the Otsutsuki form, the new Otsutsuki form that we've seen manifest out of Boruto. And let's talk about the instances or the situation that existed around that form. We see that Boruto and the whole team, which is Team 7 together with Kawaki, and they were fighting Boru, and Boruto was super exhausted. And we already know that Boru's vital point was destroyed at this point in time, but Boru is out of shape and he's very dangerous. He's just aimlessly shooting everywhere, trying to destroy these guys, and the environment had become a very dangerous environment. And having said that, uh, we sort of see that Boruto enters into an unconscious mode, and that unconscious mode awakened the new Otsutsuki form that we see trailblazing around the place. And now everybody's surprised, his comrades are surprised that there's a new Otsutsuki form that has just come out of Boruto. And if you ask me, that new Otsutsuki form resembles Momoshiki Otsutsuki. And you sort of see the horn popping out of his head, and you sort of see the activated Kama seal, and together with the Jogan, that combination with the Jogan. But then again, what we've seen, and what makes me say that this form resembles Momoshiki Otsutsuki is the manner in which you see how this new form is conducting itself around that space. The flying, you sort of see how the new all Otsutsuki can fly around, and then now you also see the wording or the content of the voice itself, or the content of the communication in itself. Okay, the one thing that he says after waking up is that, don't get cocky, you inferior creature. And that's the exact wording that he said. And my God, I would love to see that part being animated live, and we sort of watch the actual animation of that part. And I think it will be very exciting by the time the anime follows the pace, or follows the footstep of the manga. And I cannot wait to see that animated part where Boruto says, or Boruto slash Momoshiki, or Momoshiki and Boruto, when he says, don't get cocky, you inferior creature. That's what he says. And now you can sort of know that this is a speech from a god, because an Otsutsuki is a god. And according to how the series is structured, and that's when he recognizes that he doesn't have much chakra, and then he went so easily, casually so, and went to Naruto, who is lying unconscious on the floor, and he was able to extract chakra from him and take some of that chakra for himself. And he went on and say, what is this? He was battling to remember the jutsu that Boruto uses, and he went on and say, what is that jutsu again? Let's see. Oh, it's called the Rasengan. So then he generated the Rasengan, a massive Rasengan, and which he blew, which he used to destroy Boru. And Boru right now is completely destroyed by the huge, extra large Rasengan. And when we see around Kawaki looking at Boruto lying down on the floor looking at Boruto, he's sort of like surprised. What the hell is this? Is that the Boruto that I know? And everybody is sort of like surprised. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, because Boruto is not supposed to have a horn. And the vocabulary, the choices of the vocabulary that was being displayed was of a surprise to even his partners, and that's what led to all of them being surprised. That, is this really the Boruto that we know, or what is happening? And I think, to be honest, this was the most exciting, or this was at the pinnacle of the exciting moment of this chapter. And there's no doubt about it that going forward, looking at that form, if this form is being introduced time and again, this is going to be an exciting journey for all of us who are the greatest fans of Boruto. And that's what's exciting about Boruto. And right now, Another thing that I wanted to talk about, or the final thing that I wanted to talk about, is the meeting between Kashin Koji and Jigen. To be honest, Jigen, or I mean Kashin Koji or Jiraiya. I've done a video saying that Kashin Koji is Jiraiya, and that's why I keep on saying Kashin Koji slash Jiraiya is going, or he's trying to battle Jigen, is trying to destroy Jigen, the weakened Jigen, by the way, because we know that this Jigen was battling Naruto and Sasuke, so therefore his chakra is almost depleted, and we can sort of hear that in the chapter that it was talked about that he's probably at 20% level of his original chakra, and I think the question, or the bigger question from here would be, can Kashin Koji defeat the weakened Jigen or not? And I think this will be an exciting thing to see, because I think in the next chapter we are going to see Jigen versus Kashin Koji, or the weakened Jigen versus Kashin Koji slash Jiraiya. And if this happens, we might be able to see the Toad Sage mode again one more time, versus the Toad summoning. Obviously, we're gonna see. We're also likely to see the Sage mode, which will be very exciting to see. And I think if ever there's an advanced level of the Sage mode, which we've never seen before since the Naruto series started. And I think this would be the perfect time to introduce it in this series. A different kind of skill set that we haven't seen from the Toad summoning, or from the Sage mode that was introduced to us, a different kind of glossary of jutsus that we haven't seen. An advancement of Sage mode, or a new developed Sage mode level, or version 2 of Sage mode. You can call me crazy, but I think if we haven't seen that, it's time to see it. I thank you very much for staying on the channel. Please subscribe. See you next time.